Hi everyone, this is Alison Kurak from Simplifying Sold. Before we start today's video, I just want to give you two reminders. The first of which is I am working on an upcoming video for FAQ, Ask Me Anything. So please drop your comments on this video or any upcoming so that I can make sure I cover your questions in that video. Also, as always, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying this content, and always leave comments below. I love interacting with you all and hearing from you. And so on that note, today's video is all about how to market yourself as a TC, as a transaction coordinator. I think that there's so many things getting set up, you're ready to go, but it's like, okay, how do I get those clients? So there's a couple, we could go down a whole rabbit hole of email marketing campaigns and social media and all that, but I really want to focus on a couple tangible tips that you can put in place today and what I think is most important and the easiest way to market yourself. So starting off with the quick tangible tips, if you are already working with a couple agents or one agent, then these are great for you. So number one is going to be reaching out to the agent on the other side of the transaction if you notice they don't have a TC. So you're getting towards the end of the transaction, you've been working together, you have a little bit of relationship with them. We're always wanting to give our highest level of customer service. So ideally they've had a great experience with you, and indirectly you've probably helped them in some way by noticing, missing signatures or getting something set up, staying on top of something. So they may be already a little indebted to you and curious. So after the transaction or towards the end, we can send them some information, maybe creating an email template or a flyer you can attach and just say, hey, congratulations on the closing. It was great to work with you. If you're ever interested in hiring a TC, I just want to provide a little bit of information on my services. So there you go, super simple, not a hard sell, cold call, and something that could take less than 5 minutes and you can add to your checklist. So highly recommend that as a marketing tip. Okay, and the second easy tip, if you already have a couple agents you're working with, is going to be asking those agents for a referral. So if you've been working with someone for a while, or maybe they've just left you a really positive review, they may really be not want to brag on you too much because they don't want to share you, or they just really don't know how much volume you're handling or how much you could handle. So don't be afraid to ask for a referral because realtors are huge on word of mouth. I've gotten a lot of clients this way, but you need to make sure they know you're open. So maybe at the end of the year, beginning of the year, you could say, hey, everything's been so great. I'm so happy we're partnering together. I am looking to bring on 1 to 2 new clients in the next year if you know of anyone in your brokerage. So I think you may, get referrals without necessarily trying from an agent, but it definitely doesn't hurt to just give them a nudge, let them know, nothing's going to change with the level of service I'm providing you, but I'm looking to take on, a few more clients if there's anyone you know. So those are 2 super quick tips you can put in place starting today and moving forward. But the main item I want to cover, and this doesn't matter if you're brand new and you're not working with anyone or if you have been working in the industry for a while, and this is going to be a really common marketing and sales piece of advice, which is always look for the low-hanging fruit first. So that's why I don't want to go down this rabbit hole of finding clients out of thin air with email campaigns or anything like that. Let's focus on the low-hanging fruit. And that's going to be, who do we know in this industry? So I encourage you to sit down after this video and take as long as you need, and you'll probably keep thinking of people throughout the day and the week and the next days, and write down every single person you know from the real estate industry. I think a lot of us TCs, we've come from somewhere in the industry, which means you are going to have a huge amount of contacts. But even if you haven't, the industry is so huge and diverse if you sit down and think about it. And whatever that joke is, like everyone's cousin is a realtor or whatever, it really is true. You probably know a lot more realtors and people in the industry than you realize. So I really encourage you to sit down and make a list of everyone you know. So super easy if you were an agent or you're still affiliated with a brokerage, everyone at that brokerage that you've had casual interaction with, or even people who just you know of through others, depending on how big the brokerage is. So that's a huge pool of people automatically that you can reach out and market to. But we can get even more creative. Other agents you may have worked with in the past on deals, other people in the industry, title companies, lenders, even home inspectors, if you knew an appraiser, really anyone that is related to the real estate industry, even other people that work at a brokerage, maybe the front office manager, or people who work in accounting at the brokerage, or whatever it may be. Really trying to expand that list when you're thinking about it, because I think that a lot of agents, if there's not an in-house TC, sometimes they have a hard time figuring out where to find one, and especially one that's good or recommended or whatever the case may be. So by putting your name in the back of all these different people's heads that you know, even if they're not going to directly use you or they may not be able to provide a referral for a year, that is still so valuable just to have people know your name and connect it to being a transaction coordinator. So once you've made your list, I want you to go through and figure out the best way to contact and interact with all these people. So I know TCs were not typically those like hard marketing, like hard sale negotiating types. We like to be a little bit more quiet and in the background. So this may scare you, but I don't want it to freak you out at all because it's super simple and it doesn't have to be a hard sell at all. So one of the biggest things you could do, people you have personal relationships with, is just go ahead and reach out to them and say, hey, I'm not sure if you knew, I've started my business as a TC, or, I've been doing this, whatever. And just say, if there's anyone, in your brokerage or anyone that you know who ask, I'd love if you'd pass along my information. And you could send them a little business card, or you could send them business cards in the mail, or just send them a little virtual business card, or just let them know, hey, I'm doing this. So if anyone asks, just let them know. And I think this is great if an agent is having lunch with maybe a lender and they bring it up, maybe they'll remember in the back of their head that you had sent them that information and they can pass it along or they can reach out to you. So that is going to be the number one tip, is figuring out everyone you know and thinking really hard about it. And if you need to ask others, maybe, your family, your parents, or your sibling, who was the realtor that sold their house, or whatever. There's probably way more contacts than you know, and figuring out how to reach out to them. I definitely recommend people you know personally reaching out and having a little conversation like we just said. And if there's people you don't, or people maybe you're just social media friends with that you wouldn't feel comfortable, calling up or meeting with in person necessarily, figure out, are all those people on Facebook, or are they more on Instagram? Figuring out what social media channel they're on, and then maybe starting to post, hey, I'm so excited, I just became a TC, or maybe if you've been doing it well, I just passed this big milestone in my business, I'm looking to take on more clients if anyone knows of anyone. So really just figuring out who you know, how you'd like to reach out to them, and then where they are on social media. And they can be super simple posts like, hey, I'm so excited that I just passed this milestone, or so excited to get started, whatever the case may be. So I hope you found these as really tangible tips. It doesn't have to be scary, even if you joined the TC world, because you don't have that sales marketing brain. You really don't have to do a hard sell. Just reaching out to people like the other side of the transaction, or your current agents, or any contacts you've interacted with throughout the industry, and just wait and watch all those referrals come in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As I mentioned earlier, please be sure to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment with any questions and I'll film them in my upcoming FAQ video. Thanks, guys.